Okay, so I've just finished watching Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, episode 140, and we have one casualty of war. Rest in peace, Reggie's scarf. It's gone. Obliterated. Okay, so if you've watched this episode, then you're either going to be one of two camps. You're either going to have enjoyed the entire ZARC arc, and you've taken them all together, and you've enjoyed it, or you think it's really rushed, and it's kind of a disappointment to sort of end the ZARC sort of arc with this. And unfortunately, I sit in the latter camp. I thought it was a bit of a disappointment. I'm actually kind of censoring myself a bit there. I thought it was a bit shit, to be honest with you. I do think it was rushed. Like, if you take all the episodes as a whole and you put them all together, then it is quite a grand battle. Like, it spans over a few episodes, and we've got so many different duelists coming in and doing their thing. But when you've got the main rival of the series coming in to sort of do his thing, and he only lasts one turn, he is the first person to do some serious damage to ZARC. Overall, pretty pointless. It didn't really help. All it really took, well, he did take enough life points off of him so that Ray could come up and then use her spell cards to defeat ZARC. But that didn't actually defeat ZARC, it just sort of got rid of all his monsters. And then when Yugioh took over, he sort of dealt the final damage. So really, it was, I don't know. There was a lot of things that I found disappointing in the episode. I'm gonna talk about them and talk about bits that I like. Okay, so things I didn't like. ZARC, his real motivation. Was he corrupt? Was this dragon like corrupting him? Was he actually... Because he seemed like a nice person back in the flashbacks until he started going a bit stir crazy from people tending to like violent battle and things like that. So that never really got addressed. So to us, ZARC is an unredeemable character because if this really is the end of the ZARC arc, then yeah, that's it. The other thing I didn't like is the fact that Yuri, Yugioh and Yuto, they never had an appearance. They were not involved in this duel even a little tiny bit. It's as if their personalities didn't really matter at all, which really just shows how rushed this was. Like, really, like, Yuzu should have affected Yugioh like he did, so that starts to make him stir. ZARC should have pushed him back because only one personality can't override the entire thing. But then when, like, you know, like, Aruarian and all that start talking as well through Reira, then little bits of his personality could have broke through. And then obviously Yuri, which will be the last one, who never really had a strong connection with Serena in his world. So maybe they could have talked him into being his own person now, and then that would redeem Yuri and say that, yes, I want to be my own person. I don't want to be this malice amalgamation called ZARC. So then they all overpower and overthrow ZARC, and then they all separate. And then that would have been, I personally think, a much better way to end the series, because we've built up all these different personalities of Yugioh, making them their own individual people, and then we just have ZARC come in, and then they just get defeated by someone who gets introduced only a few episodes ago. Yeah, wasn't a massive fan. The big thing, though, that I find a disappointment is the fact that we never had a ZARC versus Yugioh duel. Now, the fact that the main character turned out to be the main antagonist of the series, I think is really cool, and I really like that. And that is good, but there should have been a point where Yugioh broke free and then somehow, materialised himself onto the field and duelled ZARC himself. I know he technically did defeat ZARC by sort of taking control of him and doing that, but when you've got the main character not defeating the main antagonists, I don't know, it's just a bit weird, really. What was the point of following this character to build him up, to make him learn all these new skills, if he never gets to use them against the final threat of the series? Keep in mind, I'm saying all this, and the preview for the next episode goes back to the world looking quite normal. And it seems as if all the universes have been split back up again. And I hope to God that it's like some sort of dream sequence, or everyone's in this like mixed reality kind of thing where it's not real, and all the Yugiohs do have to come back and fight ZARC one last time, like some husk of the ZARC monster. He comes like, you won't beat me, I'm the original and stuff. So if they did that, series would be redeemed in my eyes, because there's still is there still like 8 more episodes left of the series? That can't just be this little tournament arc that I want to redo, because in the preview for the next episode, I think it's after ZARC was defeated, but Yuzu doesn't exist in that world anymore, or something like that. I don't actually know, not sure. I haven't looked at the actual like description for the next episode, but that's just, anyway what I seem to think it is. So personally, my only redemption for the series now, let's just say, honestly, throughout this, I've been saying that this is probably one of my favourite Yu-Gi-Oh series. Like, obviously, Yu-Gi-Oh! The original series was the first one, it's like the best. And I personally liked Yu-Gi-Oh! GX quite a lot, and I liked the Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D story. Zexal has always been the weakest one for me, even though I can see that there are some good moments in that series. Arc 5 I'd put up there in the top 3, but with this ending, if it ends like this, and we just go into a tournament arc where he fights Reggie, just to see who's better out of those two, then I would probably go from giving this series like an 8 out of 10, probably to like a 6.5 out of 10 or something like that, because yeah, it's so rushed. Another bad thing about this, we get no banter between Ray and ZARC. Apparently they had a history together, so you'd think that, oh, they would have some things to say to each other. The best we get is ZARC goes, "Ray, is that you? Oh, you bitch." Doesn't say that. And then Ray says, "You must be defeated. Like, Yugioh should take control because he believes in smiles," and things like that. And that's it. Terrible. So they've tried to do too much stuff in one episode. They should have had this episode with Reggie trying to duel ZARC. Should have made that like 4 to 5 turns, something. Get some new cards out. We do see some new Reggie cards, and Reggie does do a really good job of summoning out all his monsters on his first turn. And when he's getting attacked, he does a good job of keeping himself alive for the most part. So that should have been this episode. Next episode should have been the introduction of Rayra as Ray. So is Rayra has been a girl this entire time? Which is obviously, it goes with that whole, did you just assume Rayra's gender? I don't remember if they ever state. Yeah, they do state it's a brother. I don't know, I'm confused by that now. Not a clue. So yeah, that's that. And we don't know what's happened to Rayra now and Ray, so that's something else we need to see what happens. In the preview we see a child, like a little baby in a little pushchair, but her face is blurred. Is that Yuzu being reincarnated? Is that Rayra being reincarnated? Is that Ray being reincarnated? I don't know. We have to wait and find out. If I had to say something I liked about the duel, then I would definitely say the fact that ZARC getting out all of his dragons, as well as him being ZARC on the field as well. Overall, it was a tense fight. The episode was enjoyable, but I had a lot of problems with it, as you can tell. I would really like to hear what you guys thought of this episode. Are you a bit jaded like me and feel like that this was kind of a disappointment to the ZARC fight? Because I personally feel like that anyway. Anyway, I wrote some stuff down just to just throw it there as a fun fact. So the 4 spell cards. Oh yeah, that's another thing. So all the theories people had about what would defeat ZARC, and like some people saying like, oh, Ritual. Ritual could be the thing that could defeat ZARC, because obviously we were introduced to not Akiza, Alexis Rhodes. I forgot what her Japanese name. Asuka Tenjuin. That's it. She made an appearance and she had ritual cards. So maybe someone can get some ritual cards out, and that won't be affected by ZARC's abilities and stuff like that. I was like, that's an interesting theory, but probably won't happen, but you never know. Some people thought that Seto Kaiba was going to make an appearance, because we've had the rivals of all the other series, and then we haven't had the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series one, the original one. So I was like, you know what? That's actually quite a cool idea, actually. If he turns up, does some serious damage, and puts maybe Yuya in a position where he could defeat him himself. I was like, yeah, I could potentially see that. Never happened. As well, it'd be a setup for the new Yu-Gi-Oh! Movie that comes out. Other theories was like people saying that they wanted to see Yugi, Jaden, Yusei and stuff make an appearance and save the day, because they should technically exist in this world. People had the theory that the reason they're not there is because when ZARC was split, he manipulated the world a little bit so that Yuya's got born in certain areas and he could edit people's memories. Another thing that he could have done was he just got rid of the main protagonists from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, because they would be too powerful for him to fight, and he knew that he might be able to get defeated by them. Not true, even a little bit. They just don't exist in this universe, apparently. So that makes me wonder, like, where this universe takes place in the scheme of all the other worlds. Is it its own separate universe? We don't know. And then the last one was the fact that maybe Ray would appear and duel ZARC, and then this will be the first female character to save the day in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Series, which would have been really progressive, would have been really interesting. No. She just comes, she just activates 4 spell cards, and then Yuya defeats her in the end. And that's it. Yeah. And this is the other thing I wanted to mention. So the 4 cards that she used were End Moon, End Winds, End Birds, and End Flowers. So End Moon was a representation of fusion, so it was representing Serena. End Winds was Synchro, representing Rin. End Birds was Xyz, representing Ruri. And End Flowers was Pendulum, or Normal, I think, and that was representing Yuzu. So yeah, I want to know what you guys thought. Also, there was a card called Smile Universe in this duel, which Yuya pulled out of absolutely nowhere. So was it Yuya's deck? Was it ZARC's deck? Who knows? It was a powerful card either way. Also, hold on, we're still not done. This is something I actually read on the comment section of the thing I watched, and they were like, so Yugioh's Pendulum thing, it didn't actually have any special properties whatsoever, it was just a metaphor. And I was like, oh yeah. Oh shit. So they did kind of big it up for the entire series. It was always there, it was in the previews, it always did that thing at the start of everything. You just thought it'd be important, because it appeared in the background as well, when swaying my pendulum of soul. I don't know what special property it would have, but you just thought it'd do something, but it didn't do anything at the end of the day. It was like the baton to pass on to other people to try and get Yugioh to change his way. So then guys, that is my review of Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5 episode 140. Yeah, if the series were to end here, I'll give it a 6.5 out of 10, which was an 8 out of 10, keep in mind. If there is no more conflict left in the series, and we have no more villains, obviously we've only got a few more episodes left, then I am going to be very disappointed. And even though I had a lot of fun, if you watch some of my old reviews, I will say how much I enjoyed the episodes. This ending has kind of ruined it a little bit for me. So yeah. Sorry about such a negative review, but I've got to be honest, every now and then, it did disappoint me. Even though the duel was cool. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So then guys, I want to hear your thoughts and theories below. Don't forget to leave the video a like if you agree with what I've said. There's going to be a new Yu-Gi-Oh! Series starting in April, I think, so I will definitely be doing reviews on that. As well, I'm going to obviously keep doing the reviews for the rest of this series until that finishes. We have a new Resident Evil 7 video coming out, or it is already out, on my TGS Plays channel. There will be a link for that in the comment section below. And we've got a Loot Anime unboxing coming out very soon, so I want to say thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you next time.